Hi there, welcome to God's Love YouTube channel. Today we are going to see the life of the reformer, Martin Luther. Martin Luther, background and life. Martin Luther, 1483 to 1546, was a German professor of theology, composer, priest, monk, and a seminal figure in the Protestant Reformation. He is best known for his opposition to certain practices of the Roman Catholic Church, which led to significant religious, political, and cultural transformations across Europe. Early life and education. 1. Born, November 10, 1483, in Eisleben, Holy Roman Empire, modern-day Germany. 2. He was the son of a miner, Hans Luther, and Margaretha Lindemann. 2. His family initially wanted him to become a lawyer. 3. Luther attended the University of Erfurt and received a Master of Arts degree in 1505. 4. In the same year, after a life-threatening experience during a thunderstorm, Luther entered the Augustinian monastery in Erfurt to pursue a life dedicated to God. Monastic life and theological development. 1. Luther became a monk and was deeply concerned about his salvation, leading him to study theology and scripture intensely. 2. In 1507, he was ordained as a priest. 2. He went on to become a professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg in 1512. 3. Luther's study of the Bible, particularly the letters of St. Paul, led him to question several teachings and practices of the Catholic Church. Luther's fight against the Pope and the Catholic Church indulgences and the 95 Theses. The most famous event in Luther's conflict with the Catholic Church occurred in 1517, when he nailed his 95 Theses, a list of propositions, to the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg, Germany. This event is traditionally considered the start of the Protestant Reformation. 1. The 95 Theses were a critique of the Catholic Church's practice of selling indulgences, which were certificates that promise the remission of sin and reduced time in purgatory. 2. Indulgences were being sold to fund the construction of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. 2. Luther believed that this practice was corrupt and exploited people's fear of damnation for financial gain. Key points in the 95 Theses included: 1. Salvation could not be bought, and it was a gift from God, not something that could be earned through money. 2. The Pope had no power to forgive sins beyond what was prescribed in Scripture. 3. The Church had abused its authority by selling indulgences, diverting resources from the true spiritual needs of people. Luther's theses were initially written in Latin, but they were soon translated into German and widely distributed, sparking a public debate. Excommunication and the Diet of Worms. Luther's actions and ideas quickly spread throughout Germany and beyond, causing alarm within the Catholic Church. Pope Leo X condemned Luther's teachings and excommunicated him in 1521. In the same year, Luther was summoned to appear before the Diet of Worms, a formal assembly of the Holy Roman Empire. There, he was asked to recant his writings. Luther famously replied. As a result, Luther was declared an outlaw by the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, but he was protected by sympathetic German princes. Luther went into hiding, where he translated the Bible into German, making it more accessible to the common people. Luther's contribution to the Reformation. Doctrinal changes. Luther's key theological beliefs diverged significantly from the Catholic Church, and they became foundational for Protestantism. Justification by faith alone. Luther taught that salvation comes through faith alone, not by works or indulgences. This was a direct challenge to the Catholic Church's teaching that both faith and good works were necessary for salvation. Sola Scriptura, Scripture alone. Luther argued that the Bible was the sole authority for Christians and that traditions or teachings not found in Scripture were to be rejected. This was in direct opposition to the Catholic view that the Church's authority, embodied in the Pope, and its traditions were equal to Scripture. Priesthood of all believers. Luther believed that all Christians had direct access to God and did not need a priestly intermediary. This challenged the hierarchical structure of the Catholic clergy. Rejecting purgatory and the sacraments, Luther rejected the Catholic doctrines of purgatory, indulgences, and the seven sacraments, e.g., confession, penance, the veneration of saints. He retained only two sacraments, baptism and the Eucharist, and reinterpreted them as symbolic rather than literal transformations of body and blood. Translation of the Bible. Luther's translation of the Bible into vernacular German, 1522-1534, was revolutionary. By making the scriptures accessible to common people, he empowered them to read and interpret the Bible themselves, diminishing the control of the Church over religious knowledge. His translation was instrumental in the development of the modern German language. The formation of Lutheranism. Luther's followers began to form distinct communities, separate from the Roman Catholic Church. The Lutheran Church became the first major branch of Protestantism and played a crucial role in the establishment of Protestant churches in Germany, Scandinavia, and other parts of Europe. Political and social impact. Luther's ideas had far-reaching political and social consequences. In many parts of Germany, Lutheranism was adopted by local rulers, challenging the authority of both the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor. The Peasants' War, 1524-1525, although not directly caused by Luther's teachings, was influenced by the social and religious unrest that Luther's ideas stirred. Despite his call for reform, Luther was opposed to the violence of the Peasants' War, and his support for the German princes helped establish a Protestant political alliance. Luther's legacy. Religious impact. 1. Luther's challenges to the Catholic Church led to the Protestant Reformation, a movement that split Christianity into numerous branches, including Lutheranism, Calvinism, Anglicanism, and others. 2. His emphasis on the Bible and faith reshaped Christian doctrine and practice, leading to the spread of Protestantism across Europe and, eventually, the world. Cultural impact. 1. The Reformation contributed to the rise of religious freedom, individualism, and the spread of literacy. 1. It also had lasting effects on Western art, music, and education, as Luther encouraged the development of hymns and church music. Personal legacy. Luther's writings and hymns have continued to influence the spiritual life of millions of Christians. His small catechism and large catechism remain important texts in Lutheran education. Luther's writings, both theological and polemical, remain central to the study of Christian theology. His stance against the Catholic Church paved the way for future religious reformers and thinkers, such as John Calvin, Ulrich Zwingli, and others. Conclusion. Martin Luther's theological innovations and critique of the Catholic Church were pivotal in reshaping Christianity in the 16th century. His stance against the Pope, his translation of the Bible into the vernacular, and his emphasis on salvation through faith alone had profound religious, cultural, and political consequences. Luther's ideas not only led to the establishment of Protestantism but also had a lasting impact on the course of Western history. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it, share it with your friends and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.